Good morning, traders. Welcome back. And it's going to be a short week this week with no Monday trading, but I hope you guys enjoyed your Labor Day. Hope you guys had a nice time with your family. I know I had a great weekend, feeling refreshed, ready to get after it. We've had a great 3 weeks here. Overall, awesome August. So now let's start getting things over into September. It's a new month, and it's the worst trading month of the year. Yes, at least to the positive side. It's the negative month. And a lot of this also runs into October, where October also is a rough month. So these next 2 months, expect the choppy chop trading. Be careful out there, traders. We'll see what happens. Let's get to today's playbook. First up, traders, we'll take a look at gold as I expect what uncertainty to play. So GOLD going to be in play already. You guys can see it pulling back here and starting to get a little bit of some attention. I'll show you guys the chart here, and we'll be watching to see if it makes a move today. I'm looking for a move back above $20 going towards the 21. And this is how gold loves to do it, right? You can see it on the 15 minutes. It goes up to the top end of the range, to the bottom, to the top end, to the bottom, to the top end, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. Now, let's see if it makes its range back up towards the top, towards the 2030s and 2040s, 2050s in play today. And if that can happen, you can hit the trend and really start to push. We'll be watching to see what happens there in Barrick Gold. We'll also be watching on the second play today. We'll be watching Gap as I look to see that retail starts to take a hit on the downside as recession concerns come back in. And this is a play that you guys could really get after. Let's take a look at the chart. And I was watching it, and I've been looking at this for a little while now, expecting Gap to start closing a move right back down. And if you take a look at this looks like a big head and shoulders pattern here, looking like it wants to drop right back into the 19s and 18 area. And if it let goes of that area, you could really start to let go a lot of the gains that are in Gap. And a lot of this, I'm taking a look at it as I'm also watching Abercrombie and Fitch come down, right? I'm taking a look to see AEO. Look at this one. This one looks ugly too. And I think a lot of these are going to start to come down and start to break down. So Urban's another one. You can see how they're starting to let go there. And apparel stores have been hot for the whole year. Now things are starting to turn around. And the concern of recession could really make these get ugly. So we'll see what happens there. Like always, guys, pay attention to see what happens in Gap. Let's go to the third play today. We'll talk a little bit about some candy and get that candy out, guys, because Halloween is coming faster than you know it. It's September, but that doesn't mean that things won't run into October. So I've been talking about this one for a little while now. It's actually been on the playbook before. I'll tell you guys exactly the day that it was on there, right here. Created it on July 31st. Looking for the pop above. And where was July 31st? It was right here on this day when we got that first pop above the trend line here. So ever since then, we made a little run. We got up there towards this high here, which is going to be important, 73.41s. And now the question is, can we get through that high? Can we start to break above that, going back here towards, of course, this January high, going towards 76? And of course, this loves to kind of make a little bit of a move, right? We'll be watching to see if this can make a little bit of a Halloween run and start to push higher towards the 73.50s. It's also in the defensive space, which is seeing a little bit of light, right? If we do get into some concern, will we see some defensive names continue to rise? That's definitely going to be something to watch. We'll see what happens here in Mondelez, and you guys can keep watch on all these plays, right? We'll keep watch of them during the live stream. We got gold, Gap, Mondelez, and of course, we'll also be watching the VIXI. VIXI's been a play that I've been scalping multiple times. We'll talk a little bit about it during the stream. Now, on today's stream, we don't have too much of a sunrise report. I'm actually leaving it out. I will give you guys some highlights here from the day. There's not much news today. Of course, the market averages closed on a high note, securing a monthly gain. The S&P marked its fourth straight winning month after rebounding from early August steep sell-off. Of course, that was with recession concerns. So that's what we got to be watching now. We're going to be watching also, of course, in September. Will we get the rate cut from Jerome Powell? And I think until that moment, there's going to be a little bit of uncertainty coming into play here. If we take a look at the action today, the biggest news is probably going to be what's also happening in Boeing, as Boeing is dipping, of course, and going down after a potential strike by 32,000 workers, as the contract, of course, for International Association for Machinists near expiration on September 12th. So that's really when things can get like really shaky for Boeing. And we're right now in the 3rd. So we're talking a little bit over a week, like a week and 2 days. So keep your eyes on that, right? If no agreement is reached, it could be, of course, Boeing's first strike in 16 years, guys. Boeing has already problems that are really apparent. So we'll look to see if we get some more downside action. Another area to look at is United States Steel, as they dropped 7.5% as Kamala Harris expressed opposition to the sale of Japan's Nippon Steel, right? We'll see what happens with that one. That one's kind of more conversation for steel traders. Analyst moves are interesting today. There's 4 analyst moves that I'll talk about really quickly, and then we'll get to the live trading side of things. Evercore ISI upgrading Southwest Airlines. A little bit of a takeoff there, and we'll see if it can really move, right? I don't feel Southwest is changing anything, but raising their price target to 35 tells me something. Look out. We'll see what happens if we can see some kind of lift in this space. The leisure space is really, and travel space is not what I see sexy out there. But hey, Evercore ISI upgrading Southwest here. Deutsche Bank downgrading JP Morgan? What? That's crazy one, settling a 235 price target, and this is a downgrade to hold. So we'll see what happens there if the banks can start to turn on the downside of things. JPM has been hot as of late. We'll see if we start to get another downside look and see if Mitch can get after. Of course, you guys know it. Goldman sucks, but we'll see if JPM could come down too. And it's always funny when a bank downgrades another bank. I always find that just a little bit ironic. Wells Fargo downgrading Boeing to underweight and lowering their price target to 119. I actually think Boeing might get to double digits, guys. So we're talking, right? I'll put a price target $99. We'll see what happens there in Boeing. Morgan Stanley upgrading Unity, though, this morning was an interesting one, maintaining a $22 price target. So keep your eyes on that action. We'll see what happens in Unity today. Of course, a growth stock. So keep your eyes to see if growth stocks can get a little lift today. But Morgan Stanley stepping up to the plate, and they put it at overweight, not a buy. So something to think about. Now it's time, of course, to kick it over to the live trading side of things. You guys know where you're at. It's Money Mitch. I'm ready to get after this market. I'm in a trade right now. I'm a little bit red. I'll let you guys know, like always, keep it fully transparent. Let's see if I can work my way into the green today on a little bit of a penny name. And there's some action now starting to wake up in that penny game. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll take a look at the action. And if you guys have a stock you guys want to talk about, now's your opportunity. Throw it up in the chat and let's get things started. You know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, baby. Who's getting that money today? I don't know, man. I'm feeling that chicken dinner. Let's go get after it.
Hugo wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What up, my traders? How we doing? Who's ready to get back after it? You got that mindset clear? You ready? Great weekend. Let's get back to the stock trading action. You guys out there, let me know what you guys are seeing. Like always, we're going to be working on making improvements of habits, right? Of course, you guys know I've been the habit that I've been working on most that has improved my trading. It's starting small and then, of course, getting bigger size when the time comes, right? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that this week, but I want to work on another one, right? Like always, there's always ways to improve. So one of the most important things here is now working on a habit that I think about all the time, right? Which is statistical thinking, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about what's working and what's not. We're going to be taking a look into also my trading this week. I'll be looking into setups and telling you guys what I'm seeing in patterns that are working right now. All right, so let's get to the trading action. Let's take a look at what my trade is right now. What do I got on? You guys out there, smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's get things started today. All right, getting after it. Let's go, team. You know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We got a lot more for you guys today. We're going to get it started here. Let's take a look at the trading action. First up, SNGX is what I'm in right now, guys. I'm in this thing, and this thing was first a little rocket, guys, but the volume is just died off since I got in it. And this is one that I would say I didn't trade the best. Why? Because this is not the one with the share size today. I was also watching MSGM off of those 155s. This hasn't really gone anywhere, so I'm not mad that I'm not in that one. AUUD was one that I was looking at this morning off of the $1 spot, and it seemed to make sense multiple times near that $1. You can see it right around here, around the 102s, 103s. That did eventually do a jump all the way to 150. So was there potential to make a good gain on that one? Hell yeah. This AUUD, really nice looking chart, really nice breakout. Now trying to reclaim and hold the 130s, go back to the 150s. I don't know if it has legs to do another run, but I can tell you right now, it wasn't bad this morning. SNGX is the one that I'm in, guys. I got caught on this one on the wave pullback, on the first pullback. This went up there towards 450s, actually 470s. I'm on the high, and I was able to get some entry there for 10, 380s, and I think I even got a 360. So I'll show you guys that right now. Let me give you guys the outlook here in the filled orders. I always tell you guys how it is, right? So we got 385, 386, and 409 as entries, and you guys see them right there. So I got about 200 shares here. Got to be careful with this one because I am in the red, and I'm not going to add to it anymore unless it starts to break out above fours. We'll see what happens on this one. Can it make the move before the bell or maybe at the bell? We'll wait and find out. Like always, going to try to keep the risk and reward in play here. And last week, not a bad week, guys. Was able to get another trade towards the end, and we're looking good. I got it was close to 800, 900 on last week, and of course before that we've had over 1,000. So we've done pretty well in the last 3 weeks. We've got to keep that going, and always understanding that we could have a red week, right? Not every single week will be a green week. Let's keep that in mind. Let's stay focused, keep the risk and return in control. The number one thing as a trader, every single week, we need to come in a controlled mindset and stay in control. Not let that slip, because the moment we let that slip is how we ruin all our hard work. Well, how do we do this? We focus in every single day and stick to our process. Let's get to our process. Let's do some watch building. Let's take a look at different stocks, different setups out there. If you guys have one, throw it up in the chat and we can definitely take a look. All right, let's get to some other action here. Let's take a look at what's going on today, right? So of course we'll be watching different industries and sectors, right? Let's do more of an open wide approach to the market, right? So we could take a look at the industrials. The industrials have been one of the hottest areas as of late. I'm actually going to go ahead and put here monthly gains so that we can really pay attention to what's been hot as of late, right? Of course, we could take a look at healthcare. Healthcare has been taking off, and not too many people have been trading probably these healthcare names, but they really have been hot, right? And I think that that's what you need to be looking at here. So, of course, you can take a look at some of the bigger names like Eli Lilly, and that one came from the 800 really quickly, right back up to the resistance. NVO working its way back to 140. UNH up there to 600 and making a nice lift there for healthcare plans overall. AbbVie up there back to 200, and this one was at 160 just a little while ago. So it just goes to show you the strength that is in healthcare right now. These are not the names turning around right now, and they're pretty strong. And if we start going into rate cutting environments, this could actually help these names continue to lift. Amgen is one that could be watched for a move above 340s. Pfizer is one that I've tried to get multiple times, still hasn't made another run. We'll see what happens on Pfizer. Can this thing really get back above 30? It's something to think about. Nothing that I'm trading right now, but of course, biotechs have been hot also, so keep your eyes on the biotechs. They're continuing to stay hot right now, and that helps us with the smaller names, right? So we'll see what happens in some of these pennies. Let's keep it going. Let's get out of healthcare. We can look at real estate. Real estate doing pretty well as of late also. Prologis is one that I'd keep an eye out. PLD has been slowly climbing its way back. One that I was looking at for a long time, AMT, and that was at the 200. That made it all the way to 230s and continuing to climb at the 224s. You guys can see it here. I drew this line here all the way back in June 5th, and it's continued to stay strong. And where was June 5th? We're talking all the way back here. So we're looking at this one. Would it get to the 200? It got to the 200. Never pulled back towards that 200, and that's why I never got in on a swing. But American Tower, definitely on the watch. And you can take a look at PSA, right? Look at PSA, public storage. That's slowly but surely started to climb. And why? This is in the industrial REITs. Something to think about. An area that's not talked about often, but definitely something that you can play. And there's multiple plays here. EXR going higher, right? Cube Smart, right? They're all similar plays, but they're all making a nice little move. That's why it's so important to know the industries that are hot out there, traders. Utilities have been hot, of course. XLU was the way that I played this, guys. I was trying to play it towards the 76, 75, 76.20 area. And look at that, guys. It's got to 76.50s. That's all the way from the 73s. It wasn't a big monster move. It was 8%, but utilities, 8%. You can't get mad at it, right? Really nice move there. And Duke, other names also, Excel, have been playing catch up, working its way right back. We'll see what happens to these utility plays. Defensive is an area that I definitely want to watch now. And I've talked about multiple names here that have been actually done a pretty good move. PG is one that I'll put on the alert now. But if you take a look at this, Clorox was one that we talked about recently. We were just talking about this right here. And the only thing that scared me out of Clorox was Kramer joining the party. But maybe he was watching the show and tuned in and said, you know what? Money Mitch has this one right on Clorox. Let's take a look at it and look at that drive higher. This has been a nice little run, about 7%. And the reason why I looked at Clorox, because it was the one that was nearest the support versus the other names that were making a big move already. Look at Unilever. Look at UL, this takeoff, right? You can take a look at Colgate-Palmolive. Look at the strength that's in that name, right? Up to 106 and continuing to push higher. So these names tell me that recession concerns could keep coming in. So keep your eyes out there and look at tobacco. When tobacco takes off like this is a sign that rotation could be slowly shifting over from growth into value. And what would they be looking for? They'd probably be looking at for some dividend players. So you guys can take a look to see what happens in communication services, right? Will those names get the lift? And look at Verizon getting a little bit of some volume, right? I'd take a look at AT&T to see if it can continue getting a little lift, right? These are good dividend players that could get a little bit of a push. We'll see what happens there. Financial services. Let's talk a little bit about that. And what have we been seeing? We've been seeing a quick ramp up, but today coming in, Deutsche Bank saying, you know what, JP Morgan, you're coming right back down, baby. We'll see what happens now. 223s up there. Needs to break the 9 EMA for us to even think about a short in this area, but I'll keep a watch. We'll see if Goldman Sachs can ever break back below 500. That's going to be a big watch for me. Of course, you guys know how I feel about Goldman. Sucks. And for that case, the same way I feel about the New York Jets, right? Suck. But we won't get into football talk. Football's coming this week, baby. Thursday, we'll be back at it. And, of course, opening night on Thursday, I'll be watching some football. I don't know about you guys, but excited that the NFL is starting up again. All right, time to catch up with you guys in the chat. What's going on? Good morning to you guys. You got the raffle? Hey, take that. 48th winner. You can't go wrong with being the second winner before the end. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're getting after it. And wish you the best of luck on those mini accounts. If you are taking a trade or maybe want to talk about a stock, make sure you throw it up in the chat. Good morning to you, Vic. Good morning to Jay's Life. Mustafa in the house, of course, getting after it. Keep getting after it, Mustafa. Like always, let's stay focused on our golden rules and get after that money. It's good to see you guys out there. Love to see you guys. If you're new to the show for any reason, say hello in the chat. Let's keep things going. Let's take a look around and see what we can come up with today. SNGX still trading at this kind of like 380, 365 area. We'll see if this can actually make a move. I'm just just going to keep watching it now, guys. I don't want to add until it kind of pops towards like 425s, 450s, but looking for a nice little gain on this. Nothing major on SNGX. We'll see if I'm able to hang in there. Really, cut downs below the kind of the 340s, 330s would get me out. So just to keep that in mind, don't want to risk an insane amount, maybe like $100, maybe 120, nothing more than that. All right. Also, we'll be watching to see what happens in different areas. So we've talked about all these areas. Let's keep going. Technology, the one that was up 1.24. Nothing major in technology, but it's hanging in there, right? It's going kind of sideways. And I think that this is what we can expect. Slight moves to the upside and sideways action. Do I think that NVIDIA is just coming down? Not necessarily, but it could still pull back, right? And we're seeing the leak come in this morning. We're seeing it already started. We'll see if we get continued leak here. That's what I'm watching to see about the VIXI, right? The VIXI I played on multiple scalps. And I can tell you guys right now, this is playing really good off the 11s and loves to play up towards the 1160s. So it's been stuck in that range. We saw the VIX spike this morning. We'll see if we get another spike in the VIX. And I'll be paying attention to this. We'll see what happens there in the short-term ETF action. Sorry about that, guys. Hendrick's trying to hang out today, and I'm not having it. We'll see what happens there, and this could also start shaking things up out of technology as we take a look there towards like Tesla. I can see Tesla battling right now. Of course, Elon's in a fight right now with Brazil and on X, but we'll see what happens. Can we get a decline back down through the 210s? If we can get some downside action in the market, I see this going back towards 200. So looking to see what happens here in Tesla, and I'll have it on my radar to look to see if it breaks down right out the gates. Especially a breakdown back below 214s could be that breakdown going back towards the 205 and the 200 spot. We'll see what happens for downside in Tesla. All right, looking around, see what else is making a move today. We'll also be watching to see some other names, right? Kind of keeping an eye on the tech space. Apple, what will happen there? Apple's been one of the hottest names, and if that starts to turn around, that's where we really got to be careful. That's where we really start to see some declines come in, right? If Apple can't hold the gains, nothing's going to hold the gains. That's the way I feel. I actually feel Apple is a better play than NVIDIA for upside approach. I think Apple could have a little bit more upside than NVIDIA towards the end of the year. We'll see what happens there. And also take a look at TSM. TSM is a good indicator to see how things are going to be moving. If we start to see TSM just fall off, well, that will be my sign. The technology is also coming right back down. All right, let's keep taking a look out there. And if you guys have a play that you guys are taking a look at, keep throwing them up in the chat. I'll keep trying to catch some tickers, and we'll keep watching to see what's out in the market this morning. Of course, a lot of upgrades and downgrades. We've talked about some of these, so let's go take a look at some of these charts. You got Love, JPM, and Unity. Well, we'll take a look at it. And of course, Boeing. Boeing was one that I was looking to short even earlier this morning, up towards the 167, and it would have been a nice short. It would already dropped about $1. So it wouldn't have been major, right? But we'll see what happens with Boeing if it can come back to 168.50s. Would love to short Boeing. And you guys know how I feel about this stock. I feel really negative towards this because the truth is this stock should be destroyed by now, but it hasn't. Why? Because of all the lobbying and money that it's put out there to try to keep itself alive. At this point, it does not look good for Boeing. And I think that you come back down and you break this monthly line, which if you break this one, watch out, guys, because there you can start to see some let go. And that's why I'm putting it down towards 100 on Boeing. I could see this thing down into the double digits, back towards like 2010 pricing, maybe even 2008 pricing. That's crazy to think about that. But the truth is we're heading back down there for Boeing, it seems like. And I wouldn't want to be an investor in Boeing. Would you? Let me know in the chat. All right, we'll take a look at other action out there. And of course, defensive names have been really, really hot. Take a look at Lockheed Martin and the continued drive you've seen there. If this turns, the industrial space will turn also. So this is what I'm watching for, the continued move to see if it stays hot. If the defensive names turn, it's not going to be a good outlook there. GE is another one. to keep a look on it. It's starting to make the move to the upside, but can it really break out? So is Deere and Cat. We'll be watching those on the industrial space. All right, let's keep going. Of course, the cyclical space is the area where you'll see like auto manufacturers, like your Tesla, your gambling, your lodging stocks that have been making a little bit of a comeback. And I did stay at a Marriott, which I wasn't very happy about Marriott. If you're out there listening, wasn't too happy about my stay at the Marriott as it looks like the power went out in the middle of the night. And it's kind of tough to feed the boys and warm up the milk with no power. So was there warming up milk in the sink? Not fun, right? But we'll see what happens there in Marriott. Can it keep moving today? Can it get back to the 240s? Airbnb, of course, has been struggling as of late. Lodging, overall, leisure, hasn't been doing the best. We started to see an uptick because of the recession concerns coming down. Will we see the recession concerns come back? Love with the upgrade today. Back there towards 30, recovering. But is this a real recovery? Will Love make a push back to the upside? You can see the monthly chart. There's definitely support here towards the 25.77s and maybe 25 overall. Now the only question is, can you really break out of this, right? You need to move above 35. So with that being said, you guys can see the weeklies and how this has been chopping all around. Is this the time to buy Love? You're definitely away from the support now. So you're in the middle if you're thinking this is rising towards the 35s. Something to take a look at. If I look at American Airlines, I see some type of bottoming. Nothing that makes me want to just jump towards the airlines. Same thing for DAL, right? So if these are going to come back, I would like UAL and DAL more than I would like Love. But we'll see what happens there in the airlines. FJF, good morning to you. And good morning to everybody tuning in. Let's get after it today and see what we can come up with. All right. Gold is on my play, right? I'll be watching to see if that can get going today and to see if we see some other action in the space. Oil has been coming down fast. So with that being said, I'll be a little bit careful about the solar names today. Those could come down fast after being strong, right? Like Run has been strong and now could come cracking back down, right? They have been strong, but today is not the day, it seems like. We'll see what's happening in the Qs right now. Definitely Lee coming right back into it. That's why I'm watching the VIXI. A little part of me is almost thinking about playing the VIXI right now, right out the gates, because if we get this quick downside action, we could start getting a pop here in the VIXI back towards the 1150s, 1175s, and 12s. Definitely going to be one play that I'll be trying to scout today in the VIXI. We'll see what happens there. And of course, can also take a look to see what happens in Gap. Gap is on my watch for the downside action to come in here today. We'll see what happens on this one. On the playbook, of course, I tried to get after this one on Friday. Actually lost on this name. Still was able to end the day green. And a lot of that was VIXI. So shout out to the VIXI life, man. That's been helping me out and keeping the gains in the green. We'll see what happens today. Will this gap crack through the 22s and really start to come down? Right now, I'm setting an alert at 2210s to see this break the 22s and going towards the 2150s. We'll see what happens there. All right, taking a look around to see what else is making a move here. I'm seeing a recent mover, SCLX. So this just got moving there. Just saw it pop on the scanners. It's holding the 130s. Can it make the move back towards 145? SCLX trying to make a move there. All right, MSGM. This is one Motorsports has been trying to get going and can't get going. The 15-minute doesn't look too bad. It's hanging out right here off the 150s. Could make a run towards 180s. It's nothing monstrous. Maybe a run to $2 today, but not feeling the biggest on Motorsports game. And we're talking about an electronic gaming and multimedia company that I don't know too much about. So I'm not going to act like I know them. But right now, I just don't see too much upside in this one. All right, taking a look around to see what other names are being mentioned in the chat. What are we trading out there, guys? How's Open doing? I've been watching that one for a while off the $2. We'll see if it catches some love again. This thing got all the way up there to 250s. That's impressive. But all right, guys, let's keep things going. We'll see what else is out there, guys. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. 2 seconds here. I'm just going to put the screen full screen, and then I'll be right back. 2 seconds, guys. All right, traders, what's going on out there, traders? Let's take a look to see what's going on and what we can come up with. Let's get that money today, guys. Let's get it. All right, guys, getting ready here, taking a look at what's going on in the market, seeing what's going to happen here with SNGX, guys. I'm stuck in this one here, so just taking a look at it right now, of course, just keeping a really close eye to see if I can get a pop above towards the $4 is really what I'm looking for out the gates. Of course, if I take a look at the hourly chart, this has been up there before. On the 19th, we were up there towards 540s. So looking to see what would happen with that action, right? If I take a look at the daily chart, I can see a trend line that came into play, right? So the trend line broke. It got to move back above. Now I'm looking to see recollection right around the kind of the 360 area and holding the support closer towards the 330s, right? If we can push out of this and go towards the 420, 450s, could be an awesome play today. So I'm looking at it right now. It does have an offer towards 376. So I'm thinking about adding a little bit here. Of course, that was underneath my entry. So with that being said, I've been trying to stay small and waiting to myself get in the green. So that pop, of course, I have the view app at 384. So I'm going to look for a pop towards 4 out the gates. And if I can get that pop towards 4, then I can go ahead and add. We'll see what happens on this SNGX. Can it make the move today? It's going to move all around out there, team. So be careful. All right, ZNTL, one that has unusual volume. So I'm going through the unusual volume to see what I see out there. GoDaddy Inc. Of course, a real kind of play in AI, guys. If there was ever a play that was in AI that a lot of people did not talk about, that you could have made a really good money in, like we're talking awesome, like insane investment. GoDaddy, man, this thing took off. Nice 61% for like the year. And when you think about this, this stock was sideways for like 2 or 3 years. AI really taking off. GoDaddy, baby. GoDaddy. Not a bad one there. And Wix.com, right? Another one that could get another lift off of this. Has gotten some lift, but not a major lift. I'd continue to watch Wix, though, because they're going to continue to have nice AI features, which will help, of course, build those websites. And we all know how we're kind of lazy for design a lot of the times. So if we can get things to be made for us, I think this Wix is not a bad one to keep an eye out for a move above 174. And you can see it right now. It's trying to make that move. Let's see if it gets to 175 today. An interesting play that's probably not mentioned today, Wix.com. All right, let's keep going, guys. What else is out there? DLR. That's the Digital Reality Trust. It's a REIT. We'll look to see if that moves today. Not too much, not too often do I see volume trading in that space, but something to think about. CSX and the railroads are starting to look good. I've talked about this with UNP and how that stayed strong there. And you can take a look at different railroads, right? They're still doing pretty well here. CP is one that I'd take a look at for 85 above. CSX just started to make a little lift there. Can it make a run to 35 and 36? NSC, nice little lift there. So we'll see what happens in the rail space. Another area you can take a look at is rail, RAIL. We'll see if this goes back there towards the 8. But railroads have been getting a little lift as of late. Basic materials, gold, of course, we'll be watching there. AU is one that I also like. It's on the pullback, and I like this pullback here, guys, because you start to get back here towards this space where a lot of times AU comes back towards a trend line, breaks, and then recovers. It just broke this line like it did here on this day, and then the very next day it was all the way up. So I'll be watching to see if that can hold today and if AU can make them push out of this. So can it make an attempt to move back towards 2864s? And then come back around towards the 2925s is an area to watch. AU, definitely on the watch. GOLD, NEM, of course. You can take a look at that one. That's also on the pullback right off the 52. And also, I'd be taking a look to see what happens in kind of silver, AG. Of course, we'll see what happens there if that starts to work its way back there towards the 590s and the $6 spot. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there, guys? Shane, what are you looking at this morning? What's up? What's up? Morning, Mitch. Looking like no trades for me right now. And that's okay, Shane. It's okay to have a no trade morning. and just get ready for the market and get focused on what you're really looking for and what you can really get after. Conrad, what's up out there? It's good to see you in the chat. What are you taking a look at this morning? Hashtag Money Mitch. You know it, man. SHLS. Nice move earlier. Let's take a look at that one. SHLS. All right, there's a move there towards 7. It's a solar play. That's one thing I'll mention. Solar isn't probably looking the hottest today, but these have gotten a nice little pop and drops. So we'll look to see if this can continue going. If I take a look at the 1 minute, was a nice move. Really wasn't that bad at all, right? It continued to lift in the morning. Pre-market got a nice little push, and the volume was small, right? This one didn't have that much volume, but nice little push there. We'll see if it can keep going. It's a smaller play, lower volume, but nice little move there to $7. I'd be careful for pullbacks closer towards 650s, but doesn't look too bad. The reason why I'm thinking 650s, resistance right around here. So the pullback towards that 9 EMA, and then looking to see if it can keep going for the next run. Not a bad one to watch, something to think about. All right, let's keep going. Netflix. That's an interesting mention there, Conrad. Let's take a look at that action here. Daily chart on this. Netflix has a nice recovery. You guys remember when I was trying to play this on the downside? A little frustrating that I never got a nice look like run in Netflix. And it just goes to show you, when you're trading Netflix, a lot of the times there's very rare stocks that trade well on a monthly. But take a look here on the monthly returns to the 9 EMA on Netflix. 1 9 EMA worked here, right? 2 9 EMAs worked. 3, 4. So that's one thing that I'll think about with Netflix. Ever since it's recovered this 9 EMA, it doesn't want to break it. And that's on the monthly action, right? So now maybe pullbacks, definitely fighting this 700. It's going to be a little bit of a fight here. You can see it. We fought it through it 1 time, 2, 3 times. Is it today the day that we break through that and start to work our way back towards this 711? Or will we be right back towards the 680s today? That's the battle right there in Netflix. SMCI, of course, the stock that got destroyed last week and continuing on the downside. I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't be near this stock with a 10-foot pole. But the big thing is that this stock is going to move all around. It could be up 200 by the end of the week. It could be down 200 by the end of the week. Big thing is here, has to do with accounting issues. So unless you know accounting and you've done the research, I would be kind of worried about this SMCI because I'm telling you guys, it's going to move all around. And yes, you could maybe trade it, but don't forget that at any moment in time, this company could come out with one comment that could drop the stock $200. And I'll tell you the one thing is for certain. If that happens, I don't want to be in that stock. So I always think about the risk and return. Yes, there's some return on this stock because it got an hit and the movement on it is strong, Conrad. And you're saying that you love the movement. I do think there's a lot of movement there, but there's other plays to be had in the market that don't have as much risk as SMCI does. Because if they come out and they say that, hey, we found some issues in our accounting, guess what? This company could easily just see a quick bar down $200. And let's say you're up and you're long a big position. Easily, how you start owing the brokerage money because you got destroyed in one play. I always talk about this here, Conrad, and it's nothing against you. It's towards all traders. I focus on this one quote in life and trading that has helped me. We don't let one trade make us or one trade break us, right? Because the truth is, one trade can make us, but it could also break us. And just that mentality alone gets me off of this type of play, right? Don't want to ever be in any play that can break me. And I don't want to be in any play that's going to make me. Because the truth is, that's risk on both sides. There's always risk at the other side of that end of that stick, right? If I go too long, too big on a penny stock and I go 50, 60,000 shares deep, yes, I can make $60,000, but I could also lose that $60,000 too. Opportunity cost, so important to think about. All right, guys, let's take a look at the action out there. We'll see what else is out there and where else we can make money. Jay's Life says, I'm great at accounting. Good advice. Yeah. If you could actually look in the fundamentals and see what maybe Hindenburg saw in their accounting issues and where they're making problems and what they could maybe adjust or fix, then yes, go to it. Or maybe ask an accountant to take a look into this if there's really some issues or not, right? Those types of things could make you some money here. But if you're not an expert in that area, and trust me, I have a finance degree and I'm still not going to get after accounting. All right, let's keep going, guys. Trader Life, good word. Money Mitch, let's get after it. Yes, let's do it. Let's try to find some great trades out there. Paul says AUUD is okay. Yeah, I think it was a play more in the pre-market, but we'll see what happens with that AUUD. Really nice play up there to 141. Continuing to hold right now. Can it take the 150s? It's battling right now. It got above the trend line, trying to hold. It's stair-stepping. Can it keep pushing? We'll see what happens there. All right, getting after it, guys. Let me see what else is making a move just a recent time. MSGM, of course, will still be one to kind of watch towards the open. We'll see what happens on that. All right, bringing that down, of course, we'll be watching to see what happens towards the bell here. It's 9:16, guys. We still got about 15 minutes left here for the bell. I'll tell you one thing, man. Never enough coffee on Monday. Let's go. All right, trying to find a good trade out there, guys. It's definitely a battle type of day. We'll see what else is out there. Cyclicals pulling back a little bit. We'll see if gold can make a move. How's the market doing? Are we still on the decline? Oh, yeah. We're on that decline there. VIXI. Take a look at that, guys. Up there back towards the 1130s. Was watching it this morning, thinking about playing it off the 1120s. We're already back towards the 1130s here. Part of me is like, jump, Mitch, jump. But the other part of me is like, be careful, Mitch, because this could just be a move to trend line. You pull back, and then you're right back towards the 11. I have to wait for that 1150 spike to really show me that the VIXI wants today. And today is the day that the market is breaking down. Qs overall still coming down a little bit here, and you're going to be playing this in the morning with success, right? I just saw that pull back to 23, and now you have 3 bottoming levels off that 23. Should be kind of holding in that level. I'd look for a little bit of a cut down out the gates to see if I can maybe jump onto this success, and then maybe see this come back towards like 2250s out the gates, and then start working its way back towards the 23s. And a lot of that would be like kind of an hourly basis, coming down, washing out this sideways consolidation, coming back about 50% of the recent move, and then taking the move. We'll see what happens there. All right, traders, it's definitely a battle type of day, and I'm still in this SNGX, and I can tell you guys it's been a battle to even stay in this. So we'll see what happens with this one. Will it give me a return or not? There's only one way to find out. I've already taken the trade. Now just staying objective to the price action. PGY, we'll see what else is out there. PGY pulling back a little bit. Nothing that excites me on that one. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. What else is out there? Mitch, can you take a look at SOC? This could be a great swing opportunity for the short side of things. Let's go take a look at SOC. All right, so you're talking oil and gas, of course. Oil and gas is taking a hit today, right? But this one seems to be on its own kind of outlook. That's one thing that I will say for sure. This is on it's on its own run, right? Because we think about it with oil overall, like USO, and USO is down today big, right? So at some point, I think this will break, this SOC. The only question is, when does it break and how do you get after it here? So it's trading in between the kind of the 15-minute right now. You've had a couple of attempts to break out to the upside. For me, what I would start doing on this is looking for my rule of 3, right, to start working in, right? So if I take a look at this, how many times have we gotten up to the resistance? You get a push up here, you get a pullback, right? Pull back immediately. And you get another push up, you get a pullback. So this is kind of staying within this, right? So you get a pullback, another push up, a pullback. So these are the areas for pullback right now around the 19s, and the resistance has been in that 20s multiple times, right? So right now you're slightly below that 20. I'd look for a blow off top and then coming right back down. This is one of those where I'd look for a wick on the hourly or the 15-minute to go through that level, wick towards like this 21, and then start to break back towards the 18. And so a lot of this is going to be dependent more on what happens out the gates. Can you just get a blow off top? That can happen all the time. Still remember the blow off top like Saunders, though. Oh, man. Mustafa, if we would have been able to nail it that day, man. Do you remember how it came back down through that $10 so quickly when I was trying to grab it there at the kind of the 1020s? And it went down to like 940s in an instant, man. If I would have been able to grab that 10 swing to the downside, oh, Saunders would have been a nice one, man. I could still look at it for shorts, right? This is not a bad one to look at for shorts. You just got to look for hourly pops back towards resistance. So hourly resistance is around the 783s, and then we could get the takedown. But boy, oh boy, should have been able to nail that one, Mustafa. You still owe me some lunch though, dude. Don't worry. I still love you. We'll get after it today. What else are you guys looking at? BOF. I saw that this morning, right? So take a look at that one. BOF. 230s. Was watching this one because 250 seems in play. So you can see 250 right here. You can see that I have it already drawn out. I was watching it this morning. I was definitely taking a look at it here. So it's not a bad one here. It's definitely trying to make the move. Now the only question is, will it get the move out the gates, the volume to buy it through the 250s and get it to jump higher? If you get through that 250, you can go towards this 267 high. That'd be where I'd be looking for the break to see if you're really going to go for a next level up. Pullbacks towards 215s holding right now. That's the area that I can see hold. Even if it goes to 215, it's okay. Just not breaking that 215 back towards below that 215, and you give up that recent kind of breakout that you made towards the 245. Doesn't look too bad at all. It's nothing that I like too much. It's packaged food though. It's a little bit in the defensive space. That's one area that we have been seeing get a little bit of a lift there. So if you want to take a look at some of those packaged foods names, you can go ahead and do so. Of course, you're talking more your KHC, your Kraft Heinz Company, your General Mills, your Kellogg's, right? Your MKC, your Canera brands, Campbell's Soup, right? But then, of course, you got those smaller names that are going to be in this. Herbalife, does that thing still exist, man? I remember when this thing was big out there, guys. This thing has been slowly on a decline. Boy, oh boy, I should have shorted this on the long end for sure. But Herbalife going back to zero, maybe? Who knows, man? I couldn't even believe that this stock hung around for that long. We'll see what happens. Where's the Beyond Meat, man? That's in packaged foods. And you can see how that recently spiked, but it's right back down. So you see how this has spiked before? If we're going to get a run in packaged foods, keep your eyes on Beyond Meat. I hate it. I'll tell you the truth. I've said that this company is going to zero. Fake meat, fake profits. But overall, still could get a pop back through that 650. We'll see what happens there. Fake meat, fake profits, baby. We'll see what happens out there at 923. Let's go, guys. Don't forget, of course, to hit the like button and show us that you love us. Also on Twitter. Right now, guys, if you're tuning in and you're listening in and you enjoy the action, you enjoy Money Mitch working hard for you guys, do me the favor, just take 1 second, hit the like button, hit that heart, and if you're on Twitter, hit the retweet, get after it, team. I'm going to start taking a list of people that retweet the stream for a special giveaway that I will do myself, right? So I'm going to push to try to get some packages that I can give you guys. But like always, you guys got to support us, support me, and continuing to grow the stream right here on Trade the Pool, of course. Let's take a look at the action. Let's keep watching towards the bell here as we still are on the league. But now we'll look to see what happens right before the bell, right? You can see how you're bouncing already. Let's see what happens here. Get after it. Get after it. The Twins are doing great, man. They went to the aquarium, loved the life at the aquarium. We're able to see some sharks and different action out there. We were out by Tampa. So shout out to anybody that lives out there in Tampa. Let's keep going, guys. AUUD, definitely watch it. It was a nice move this morning. I should have been able to play it this morning off the $1 spot. I went after a different one, and I always go after like one. That's one thing that I can maybe think about. Should I maybe go after 2 or 3 of these penny names in the morning? But this was a nice setup in the morning, guys. So I came in. This is going kind of sideways. You can easily draw the trend line there, looking for this to pull back towards the support around the $1 spot, whereas the actual buy spots that I felt made sense. This is like kind of 102, 101 here that it pulled back to. Those were the areas to kind of buy. And then breakouts above the 111 was the area to watch. You got the breakout right towards this high, which was 124. Where does it go to? 124, right on the dot, right there on that first expansion. I would have been selling some into that move and then looking for the expansion higher, and then it goes to 150s. Yeah, around the 140s, I'd probably take that money and run. So now I'd be looking to see if it reloads through that 150. You got some reloads at the 135. Now you need to see high volume through that 150 if you're going to keep getting this bad boy to keep running. I think it could still have a third move, right? This is the first move, the second move. So this is the first one, the second one. Maybe you get a third and you keep going and then you start to pull back. That's, of course, more of your wave theory, your Dow theory. We'll see what happens there. It's 9:26, almost 9:27, 3 minutes for the bell here. I need to go focus on SNGX. I'm going to focus on different stocks out there, Treem. But if you guys are looking at anything out the gates that gets a big move and you want me to talk about it or you want me to take a look at it, don't forget, keep throwing that up in the chat. And today we'll be talking a little bit about time and sales throughout the stream and order tape analysis. So the biggest thing is looking at this time and sales. And I always talk about how what I do for this time and sales is I actually put it on a, the biggest thing for me on the time and sales there is that I put it on a kind of filter. And that filter is to do what? It's to go ahead and show you guys there on the time and sales. And did I just close it? Yeah, I think I did just close it. So let me just reopen it right here, guys. Sorry about that. But definitely. So the biggest thing for me is filtering out the sizing here. And it's going to be so important to do so. So if you're not doing that already, guys, definitely take a look into that action of how you can filter out the size there. And it's so important. So anything more than, let's say, $9.99 is what I usually filter out. And then you could do coded action. So I'm going to have to fix my coded action, but I normally do colored rows, and you can do colored scheme there. You can actually do it by, like, let's say if it's greater or equal to, let's say, over 10,000, it's a different color. And the thing is, that's so important, guys. If you can do that, it can really give you an advantage. I kind of screwed this up right now, but don't got time to fix that right now. The bell's coming faster than you know it. And the number one thing you want to do is be ready for the bell here. So let's get ready to go, guys. Let's keep everything in focus. Let's focus on execution and focus on having another positive week. And how do we do that? We do the habits that help us, not the habits that hurt us. Focus on those strengthening habits. And of course, turn those habits that you're struggling with and focus on those, because if you can just focus on improving one, you just might make a big jump in your trading skill. Let's see what we got today, guys. Let's go. Let's get that money. Pinkies always up, baby. Let's go. Liquidity is everything when you need about 10 cents or more, 100%. Swinging RR. Ooh, wisdom with the rich tech. Rich tech. All right, so the big thing for me on this 15-minute, you can see how the MACD is actually opening up. Wouldn't want to see this cross back down through the yellow line. Want to see this rip right out the gates. I'm going to go to the 1 minute here because it's a penny name. But of course, you guys know penny stocks, I'm okay with the 1 minute. Bigger stocks, I like more of that 5 minute, 15 minute. And if anything, the 15 and hourly approaches are what's going to be best for me. Let's see what happens here out the gates, guys. It's 9:29, only about 15 seconds towards the bell. Hands up, sleeves up. Let's get ready to rock and roll. And like always, focus on the first trade and keeping what? The risk concern. Because the number one thing you can't do is just destroy yourself on the first trade on Monday, and then your mentality is completely off. Let's get after it, team. All right, guys, getting ready to get out if I need to here. I'm going to be focusing towards protection first. All right, success out the gates, straight to the upside. VIXI on the downside. Tesla is one that I'm watching to see if it drops. That's also like a big watch of mine here. We'll see what happens here in SNGX, if it can get the volume or not, or move. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be moving all around. The spread is still really wide here. Bell is open. Watch out there, guys. We'll see what happens. Vuzi showing up on the scanners first here. Vuzi's up there towards that one. Was up there towards 115. We'll look to see if it gets another move. BOF showing up on the scanners. There's the move through the 250s. There's the move towards the 260s. We were talking about that one just recently. There's the push. Now I'd be looking for pullbacks around 240s to hold. Look to see a BOF. It's another move. MSOS giving a nice little jump there. Some cannabis stocks getting a little bit of lift. Nothing that I like right now, but I am seeing a little lift there. We'll see if it keeps going. bbio, a name that has been moving as of late. Biotech has been a big push as of late. We'll look to see if this keeps pushing. All right, just got an alert there. Keep a watch out there, guys. A lot of stocks making moves. VIXI making a move there. Above the 1130s, towards the 1135s, and now pushing towards the 1135s. We'll look to see if this keeps pushing here. But I'm looking at the VIXI right now to see if maybe the market is just coming down. And we're going after the VIXI. Let's see it here. SPY down out the gates here. We'll look to see what happens on the Qs. You saw that first wick down, and now you're starting to see a little recovery. We'll see what happens on SOXL. Back through the 36. Can this bounce there? Find out, guys. All right, SNGX, I got to go over there and just make sure that I'm going to be protected in a second here. The spread is just completely wide, and that's what's affecting the stock there in that trade. NVDS, bear ETF on NVIDIA, straight up out the gates here as NVIDIA heads down out the gates, straight down towards 114. That's going to be dragging it. Tesla with a spike, though, back towards the 218. So if there's an area that's struggling, definitely. Qs with a big move down there, now starting to be a wipeout look. So VIXI's looking good here. Now the only question is, do I want to get after the VIXI right now? So I'm thinking about it. I'm liking it here. I'm going to take a quick trade here and see if it can hold 25s on the pullback here. So let's see if I can get a little entry here towards the 34s or 35s. Could step up to the plate there. I like the 35 action there. Let's see if I can get the 34s. There you go. I have the order out here to get 1,000 shares now, guys. I'm going to look to see if this can just rip out there. There, I'm long on the VIXI, guys. 1,000 shares at the 34. This is more kind of scalping ability here. Got to be careful for a cut down back through the 1120s and watching the Qs to see if they go lower. Cut down towards the 472s there. VIXI up there to the 35s. I'll look for a little pullback and a push above the trend line. The trend line has an hourly trend line right towards this 36 that could break towards the 1150s on that first drive. I'll look to sell it on that first drive, take a nice little gain on the scalping action, and then see what happens with the rest. All right, let's keep things going. Let's focus in, guys. SGNX, also a trade that I'm in, right? So I got to focus on that. StockS with a nice little push there. Now VIXI's towards the 38s. Looking good there, guys. Just want to see that kind of get the lift through the 1140s, going to the 1150s there. SNGX still just moving all around there. The spread is just extremely wide on that one. Definitely caught in that one. I'm just focusing that I keep the risk and return in focus there, guys. All right, let's keep going at it. What else is out there? Can an Indian trade the pool? 100%. Not an Indian, though. But yeah, worldwide, international, man. Check it out. Go to our website. Take a look into it. All right, SNGX. Now starting to lift a little bit there. Just needed to break through that $4. Make a little run there. I'll sell it and then look to trade some other ones there. BOF. Big push there out the gates. Can that hold the pullback towards the 240s? But right off of that. SOC. The one that we were looking at it just out the gates there. Mustafa. There's the breakout towards 21. Look at that bad boy. What a play there, guys. This thing is hot, hot, hot. Blow off top could be here at the 21s. We'll look to see if it is a blow off top, but it did hit that 21 and now starting to turn around. We'll see if it gets to the next level, 21s. But remember, the spread on that one is a little wide. Be careful out there. VIXI looking to see if this can break out through the 38s, going to the 1140s and 1150s here. I'll take a quick little gain. I got no problem taking quick gains here on the VIXI. VIXI is a scalping type of play for me. It doesn't have to be a big breakout. I can just look to scalp it. All right, 1150s are out there. If I start to get a breakout towards 1150s, I want to take that money and run. Let's see what happens here, guys. All right, looking at SNGX. See what happens on that. That's just moving all around there on that one. Got alerts set on SNGX to let me know when that one finally moves. I'm focusing on the VIXI, guys. All right, overall, if I take a look at the gates here, I'm going to go to the daily here and take a look to see what's leading, what's not. Leading healthcare, financial services, real estate. In the red, technology, energy, basic materials on the pullback. VIXI there towards the 1141s, and my net P&Ls are off for some reason, guys. So just be careful out there. I am seeing some a little bit concerns there in my net P&Ls not making sense there. So focus on what your opening price is and where the price is. Just focus on that. You should still get the correct gains when it comes down to it, but I do see a little slight discrepancy there, and I'll make a mention to Trade the Pools team to take a look into it. Always looking out for you guys, man. Smash the like out there. What's up? What's up? Oil dumping time. Ooh, we'll see what happens there. 1142s now showing up there for the VIXI. I'm moving mine up off the 1156, looking for a little run here in the VIXI. I'm actually going to close down the profit there. See what happens here. Oh, good Lord. All right, guys. Biggest mistake I've probably made here live right in front of you guys right now. Biggest mistake. I got to cut this right now. Wow. What a mistake here, guys. Honestly, I don't think I've made a mistake like this on stream in a long time. Boom. Taking an $80 hit there. Guys, I went to go long the VIXI there. I was short the VIXI there. Wrong play. And the worst part is I was looking at the right play. Big mistake there. Big mistake. Just taking a second here. It was Hendricks. That's who it was. Nah, man. This one's on me, man. This one's on me. Big mistake. Can't believe I made it. And the worst part is, look at the VIXI going to the 45s. I would have got a nice little scalp here. Nice little scalp. We'll see what happens there. Ah, that one's a frustrating one to say the least, guys. Should be long, should be taking that nice $100 gain there. Frustrated to say the least, man. Down 100 and shouldn't even be down on that. Bad trading there, guys. Got to take a moment here and reassess. When you make a mistake like that, definitely a bad one there, man. And the worst part is, it was a really nice fill there. Really nice entry. Really nice play. Mentality wise, I screwed that one up. That's for sure. Redfin with another little lift off there, guys. Of course, that one is in your kind of real estate area. I've talked about how Zillow can take another lift off too. We'll see if that can push strong today up there towards 56, recovering strong there. Open is another one that I like. We'll see if it can hold the 216 pullback, make another run there towards the 240s, 250s. But boy, oh boy, am I just frustrated right now, guys. Frustrated right now, to say the least. The VIXI going up there towards the 47, the 50s. Oh, man. What a mistake this morning, guys. Not the way to play things there. But just got to let it go, man. And that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because it really is just a mistake on the execution side. You guys saw it there. All right, we'll see what happens out there. Definitely not what you wanted to see there. And the worst part is it was the perfect play. The perfect play, guys. That's going to be a frustrating one to say the least. To say the least, guys. All right, let's keep going. Sox ass going higher. That one's a nice little breakout there. Look at that move, guys, from 23.25 to 24.50s, continuing to go. Not a bad move there. I'd look for gold to recover there. We'll see if gold can recover on the day. Going to take a look at that action. AU is one that I like on the downside action there. It's back towards the 28.60s. Could grab it off of the 28.60s, looking for the 29 recovery. Right now, I'm stuck in this SNGX, just taking a look at it to see if this can maybe move, get the little lift there. Maybe I make back some of my money, and then I can go focus in again, get refocused in, man, because the VIXI now trading up there towards the 48s. Got up there closer towards the 50s. I think it could even make a break towards the 50s. On the pullbacks back towards 1120s or 1125s, I can play the VIXI again. Definitely upset about the way that I played the VIXI this morning, because definitely not the way to go after it there. Making an order execution mistake today. Definitely something to learn from. Oh, there's the 1149. We would have got that money, man. Would have got that money. That's a little frustrating. Tesla coming right back down, guys. This looks to me like a takedown in Tesla. It went up there towards the resistance, 219. Big rejection there. We'll see if it goes back towards that level, but it could be a leak in Tesla now. So seeing that come fast there, downside in Tesla coming in there, and it's going pretty quickly there, guys. Oh, man, this is one of those days where it's kind of hard to get after some of the trading now because of my first mistake, especially after that risk aversion feeling that I have on that first mistake there. So we'll see what happens there. Got to go focus around AMD. Big downside action comes into that. NVIDIA, big downside action coming in. Down 3% now in NVIDIA, and seeing that downside. TSM was one that I talked about. Look for the signs there. Look at TSM straight down out the gates there. Not a bad move there. Why is it the profit split 0? No, man, that's not what it is, Javi. Look into it, man. I think you're getting a little bit twisted, but don't worry about that, man. Let's just keep going and take a look at the trading action out there. Look at that TSM go down there. Not a bad move there. That's going to help the Sox ass continue higher, and that'll help the VIXI. The VIXI now towards 1149, almost the 1150s. It's hard for me to be upset, but the truth is I played it wrong. I didn't mean to play it down to the downside there. Instead, should be taking that 150 gain right there. Right there, it would have triggered off, would have got me that 150 gain. Can't be mad about it. Just got to keep going, guys. Got to keep it moving. We'll see what happens. SNGX still in this, guys, just hanging out sideways, looking for the pop above 4s to maybe take an ad on this. Right now, down about $52 on this. It doesn't look good for me today. Got to keep things focused and see what I can get. TGTX, a therapeutic stock that I'm looking at. Big rip out the gates, got there towards the 25s. Of course, we've seen this one move before. It's been trying to move back through the 26. It's been making a huge recovery, this TGTX. We'll see if it can keep moving today. Big liftoff out the gates, pulling back now below the 25s. We'll see if it holds a VWAP pullback. BOF, where'd that one get to? 277, so nice break off the 250s. 240s holds to the key and gets the next lift off there towards the 280s. I hope somebody was able to nail that POF. Hey, Mitch, do you know why the beginner day trading account is 0 profit split? Are you talking about, which one are you talking, Javi? Because you got to name it the right way, man. Because there's none that is the beginner one. So I think you need to just tell me what you're trading. Is it the mini buying power, super buying power, or the extra buying power? And all of them have splits of 50-50, 60-40, and 70-30. If you're seeing a 0 split, that's probably the demo. Are you trading the demo? And that's what you need to take a look into. Take a look here. Of course, you see our packages. We have the 99, 97, the 300, right? And the 475, which is the extra. You see the splits there, 70-30, 60-40s, and 50-50. All right, guys. Tesla back down to 214.50. So big move down there in Tesla. We'll see what happens there if it keeps breaking down. Not a bad one to take a look at, but definitely seeing the downside come in there. Lucid with a spike today. The trash is moving out there. NVAX. NVAX with the lift. We know how this one has a tendency of trending when it makes the move. NVAX Big push here, guys. And the daily chart looking good here. Undercut and rally in NVAX today. Looks great off the 1250s. Just broke above that. Go to the 15 minutes. I'm like, come back to 1260s here or below 13s so that I can come after you, NVAX. I won't mind you, especially back down towards, let's say, 1280s, 1270s. But this looks like it's on the climb today. We'll see what happens there in NVAX. Good Lord, that VIXY one, man, and I'm telling you, it's costing me today. It's costing me. Yeah, the evaluation split is going to be 0. You're not making money on the evaluation. The evaluation is just that, an evaluation, right? You have to gain the account and then you can split those profits, right? For right now, what you're trying to do is win the account. So win the account, then you can worry about that. XPEV showing up in the scanners for unusual volume with an up move today in China. That's interesting. Yin actually on the downside, as you're seeing probably those tech names take a hit. Oh, man, the VIXY is just frustrating me, guys. That's going higher towards the 1151s, 1152s. And what a screw up this morning, man. That one's going to frustrate me. And I just got to get back my mentality. And you can see my mentality is off right now. And why? Because I just made a trading mistake that was a green trade. And that's where it gets frustrating, guys. Look at the VIXY taking off there. Really nice approach. Pulled back, held it. There's the 1155s. 11. Oh man, that one's going to be, I'm telling you guys, this is one that costs me, man. And it costs me on the mental side more than even just the cash side of things. Nice $200 gainer here. So we'll look to see what happens there. Airbus making a biotech company pushing towards the 4s. We'll see what happens there. CNFR, dollar stock that just made a nice little pop above that. So if you're looking for a dollar play, just to pop above right now towards the 116, that's looking pretty decent there. Oh man, frustrating on the plays today, guys. So just keeping a close eye to see what happens on this SNGX, because if I lose on this one, I might not be able to even open another trade because the mentality right now is just gone through the dirt, man. And the worst part is I had the right mentality, just bad execution out the gates here. Made one trading mistake there on having my thing on the sell side and quickly getting into it there with the VIXY. It was a speed type of entry that I tried to do in there. I didn't focus right. Made a bad move there. Shorted the 1134s instead of longing the 1134s, which I clearly said that I was doing. Oh man, this is just frustrating, guys. Just frustrating to see the VIXY ripped up like that. All right, guys, bbio, we'll look to see what happens on that one up there towards the 31s. This one made a huge little rip there, guys. So bbio coming back and strong as this stock. So just want to mention that one. Q's still dragging. We'll see what happens on the Q's. Can it keep coming down? Or we'll see what happens on that one. Tesla still dragging around the 214s. Didn't make a comeback at all, pretty much. It's just hanging out here at the 215. We'll look to see if it comes back here, or is it just a continued leak in Tesla today? All right, guys, let's keep things going. Looking to take another trade, but keep an eye on SNGX because that's really what's going to be the focus now. If I can get back into the green there, then I can start taking some other trades. But definitely that VIXY trade, man. It's just a frustrating one, to say the least, man. NVD, NVIDIA daily short, doing pretty well on the action there with NVIDIA coming down lower. Can NVIDIA bounce and actually get back to the green? We'll see today. SMCI towards 451. So those people that were playing SMCI, shout out to you guys. I just can't do it. AAOI around the 1230s, just made a run to 1270s and 1250s. So this actually looks pretty decent. It has 1, 2, 3 times to break the VWAP. I would love a pullback towards 1220s And on this one, just based on the chart itself, to see if it can go back towards that push towards 1250s. Doesn't look too bad there. 15-minute chart, nice little hold of the 1210 area. Can it get back there towards the 1270s? Maybe go into a run to 13 today. AAOI. Tesla looks like it wants lower. Looks like it's going to crack a little bit further there. Good Lord, the VIXI. VIXI now towards 1164s, guys. 1165s it hit. Good Lord, Mitch. What a mistake today, man. That's going to be a frustrating one, man. And shoot, guys. Mental capital, after doing so good, right? So good for the last 3 weeks. Starting the trade off with a really nice trade there. Getting after it, not feeling afraid, just going for it, and just making a mistake that's costing me here. Look at that. 1167s now on the VIXI. Almost 1170s. Oh boy, guys. We're talking close to a $300, $400 gainer there to start it off on the action for the VIXI. It's going to be a frustrating one, guys. Sox ass, big rip there to 2450s. We'll look to see what happens out there, but man, oh man. Messed up the trade today, guys. All right, whatever. We'll see what happens on that one. Mitch, put the ball cap on. Change it up, my man. Yeah, I just got to let that one go, but it's just really frustrating when you miss one, especially on a misplay like that. SNGX, just going to take a look to see if this finally gets going. Breaks 350s. I got to get out there. So that'll be another hit there, and I'll be probably down 200 on the day. I think I might push it to 300, but not more than that. And it's just really frustrating because essentially I should be up 300. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Can't shake it. Can't go back. Made a mistake and got to live with it now. TVTX up there towards 10. Biotech trying to make another push. AAOI that I just talked about around the 1230s there. There's the push towards 1260s, 1270s. Look to see if this one does now a cup and handle pattern, right? Pull back towards 1240s, holding there would be the cup and handle pattern, and then it comes back higher, right? So it kind of fakes out here at 1270s, comes back towards that 1240s, 1230s, and then takes the next lift here. We'll see what happens there in AAOI. Not a bad one there. Could have maybe gone after that one. I'm just completely out of the sauce today, guys. Out of the focus. I'm just going to focus on SNGX. See if that one comes back. If I can get back into the green on that, maybe I can get the mentality back on. But for right now, I can even sense it. Just my mentality is just... I've crumbled it in a paper ball, threw it in the trash. Not what we should do on a Monday, but the truth is you got to know when you're off. And now I'm off, man. So just got to go focus here. And if you guys have a stock you guys are looking at, now is a really good chance because I'm in more of an objective standpoint. I'm just going to look at the stocks now and not trade as much. And why? Because this is clearly when you can revenge trade. Little part of me is even feeling it. Oh, but go long the VIXI now. Go long the VIXI now. No, Mitch. Now you kind of ruin that whole trade. Leave that trade alone. Push it to the side. And focus in on the trade that you're already in and just manage that one. And then we'll take a reassessment. Let's say maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, we can reassess. You're off, Mitch, and it's Tuesday. Yeah. It's Tuesday, guys. It's Tuesday. But hey, it is what it is, man. All right, guys, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Let's see what we can find. Definitely a little frustrating open here as the VIXI going higher. Towards, what do we get to? 1169, almost 1170 in the VIXI today. What a move there, guys. And the Sox S up there to 2467. Tesla straight down after that spike. So that's just been on the leak. We'll see what happens there. What happened in Boeing? Boeing just gets crushed, and it hit the 168.50. Why did I get an alert? Good Lord, man. I missed that alert too. Oh, man. That was a good one, guys. I talked about it. Could we get the thing to spike back through 168.50s? We did get that spike. It went back to 169.60. That was a great opportunity to short Boeing, and it's back down to 161.50. Man, what an opportunity there in Boeing for the short side things. Oh, good Lord. It's one of those days. I really have to take it easy now, guys, because part of me is just like, man, just messing up the trading day. That's what it is. And it can frustrate any trader. All right, we'll see if this could ever get the spike back above the 370s or 380s, going towards the 4s, trying to make some money back on the day with SNGX. But I don't feel too much about that one. I'm just letting it work now. Success now pushing the 2470s in the pre-market. Just did a gap and go right back towards the upside, towards 2470s. Big push up there. Pullbacks towards 24 and below 24 makes sense now. But we'll see if we even get back there. It's just ripping. Downside in AMD back towards 140. Talked about that last week, how this one could go right back towards the 130s. It's heading there. Tesla, I feel like, is heading back towards 210s and 200, but can't get after it here at the 213s because it just keeps being on the fade right now. And it's not going back to the VWAP. It's just on the leak. So we'll see what happens there in Tesla as it continues to leak. And look at Apple. Even a strong name like Apple really giving up some gains today. Just shows me more and more. The red side is in. I talked about how a lot of the Dow has red at the open, and September is a struggling month. Well, we're seeing the struggle right now, and the downside definitely winning. I'll look to see if the VIXY can pull back to the 1125s, but I don't think it'll get there today. And it's just going to be one of those where either you got it or you missed it. And for me, I got it, but I got the wrong side of things and cost me. That's for sure. BOF up there towards 313s. Big push there in BOF today. So Branched Out Foods, shout out to you guys. Beyond Meat, trying to get a little bit of a spike there. So we'll see what happens on that one. See if that one can make a little run today. If we're seeing the packaged foods run, maybe this one gets a little lift also. AAOI, how's that one continuing to move? Did it do the little bit of a pullback for the cup and handle? A little pullback there. It went back right towards the 1240s and right back up to the 1270. Money Mitch calling it right, but at the same time, I'm in wait and see mode now. So hope you guys are able to nail some of these trades. Right now, I'm just in wait and see mode right now. We'll see what happens. All right, terrible Tuesday. Go get a siesta. That's for sure. That's what I feel like it right now. Especially the way that I traded that open. Just a frustrating one. All right, guys, we're looking for some kind of bounce out there in the market. We'll keep watching to see if some other names show up on the scanners. Right now, I'm seeing SGRP. That's nothing. SOC up there to 2150s. Man, this thing is just strong. Look to see if this thing just blow off tops, but that was my concern on this thing. The drive through 20s drove it through now towards 2154s. But it's definitely on that overbought side of things, right? So, like, I would take a look at that action there. Taking a look at the 15 minutes, you can see how this thing has been near the top side and could start to turn back to the downside on this thing. Yeah, it still has a little bit on the RSI. It can still drive a little bit longer, at least from the topping action that I've seen. That's towards the 88, so I wouldn't get in front of it right now, at least on this SOC. It just doesn't look like it wants to turn back down, but that's just from what I see there. Saunders back to 7. See what happens out there. What about Gap? Gap just hanging out at the 2230s, trying to recover the 2245. Look to see if we get some downside leak today in Gap. That's kind of be probably the only trade that I can see out there, me getting after. Nice little pop above the VWAP. Now could just drop down through the 22s and goes lower back towards the 2160s, 2170s. And it's going down right now. It doesn't look too bad off of this kind of rejection. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Yeah, nice little rejection off the 2230s there. Could start seeing the leak coming into this gap. I'm going to take a shot on this gap. This is probably the last like trade off of that SNGX there. But looking to see if I can get after this one. It's not the biggest return on this, so got to be a little bit bigger sized, and you got to be a little bit careful with this one. So let's see what happens now. We're starting to break that. We've made 1, 2 attempts on the downside. I'm looking for one more pop above the VWAP towards 2240s, 2245s. That's where I really like to short. Let's see if I get that opportunity. If it just drops like a tank here, hey, I'll just probably miss out because I just don't want to just jump on it right there. It jumps towards the 40s and I get out. I really want to add towards that 2240s so I can risk off 2250s and 2255s. We'll look to see if I get a bounce there in gap. BOF showing up again. That one's been a big run, that's for sure. MSGM finally getting the lift there, guys. So if you were looking for MSGM earlier today, motorsports stock there, now it's starting to push there off that 160 level. So 150s, maybe the risk here, 145. Nice recovery of the 140s. If I look at the hourly, this thing could go to 2 today. It doesn't look too bad to maybe make a run to 2. It is trying to reload here at the 160 spot. Big level for it right now as it approaches the 160s. Big level after that, it was around the 170. So be watching this 160 to see if it takes it. MSGM. All right, looking around, what other ones are making a move today? Gap now down to the 22, 23s, and that one could just fade off here, guys. I'm feeling hesitant, and that's a lot on that loss on a mental mistake. And it was an execution mistake, and I should probably just keep getting after it. But the number one thing is when you're feeling off, hit the brake pedal. Even though today seems like a day where I should be hitting the gas pedal, and it should be, because the VIXI did exactly what I was looking for it. I'm hitting the brake pedal because I just want to focus on what I'm doing. Look at that VIXI, man. Almost breaking the 1170s now. It's just a frustrating day, guys. This should have been the trade to just take us into the green and call it a day on just this one VIXI trade. But hey, this is how it goes sometimes, especially when you make a mistake like that. Tesla coming back fast. That's going to give me an opportunity if I want to fade Tesla, right? If I want to fade Tesla, I'm going to get that opportunity probably off the VWAP here. 216, 217. We'll see what happens there. Gap dropping down to the 2220s, 2218. So probably not going to give me the opportunity to get after gap. It was on the play. It was on the playbook. It's a really nice setup. I'm just hesitant today, especially after that loss. And I can even feel it, guys. So this really nice setup. I'm not going to get after it, but we'll see what happens there. Macy's, I am still short that on the swing trade side of things. We'll look to see if that keeps cracking down. SNGX not going anywhere, and I'm getting to the point where I just about had it with this play. I'm at the point where I'm just about to just take the loss here. Probably going to go ahead and just set a stop right underneath it here and see what happens. They'll probably stop hunt me, but I'm just getting to that point where it just doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. All right, take a look there at the MACD, see if it crossed back underneath it, and you can see there that cross underneath it. Not what I wanted to see there. It's either going to make the move now or just completely just break down through the low, the 350s, and could go even lower. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely not a name that I'm even liking anymore on the way that the action is. Just staying in it to be objective right now. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is out there. Day's life. Yeah, it's okay. No worry, guys. I'll bounce back. It's just one of those days where really the frustration in that play is going to cost me. And one thing that I know is for sure is that when you get frustrated, you stop seeing things so clearly. That's just the way that life works. And it could have been a really good day. And for right now, it's a negative day because I'm not being able to obtain what I was looking at, which was this VIXI long. And look at that, guys. Now, that got up there towards the 1182s. $500 were available there, right? And the potential of that is costing me right now. Now, I could shake that and try to keep trading, but I'm trying to push the negative emotions out and trying to just push like, oh, but I can make it on this one, on this one, on this one. So today's one of those days where I just got to get my mind right. And part of that is just sticking to the risk and return on SNGX and then just moving off from that and keep moving forward. But boy, oh boy, the VIXI today was exactly the trade, just really bad executed there. So, hey, that's how it goes. CNFR, we'll see if that one can keep moving. It's moving back there and not doing much. Rail showing up there. We'll look to see if these rails try to make a little bit of a lift there. CSX did push there towards 3440s. Can I get another lift there? Go right back up there towards the 3460s, 36, 35s in play. Let's take a look at the hourly levels, holding the hourly pullbacks, and could get right back towards the resistance of 3440s. BOF still showing the move there towards the 339s now. Big breakout in BOF today. All right, guys, let's keep it going. It's one of those days out there, guys. Just got to keep it going, guys. CHD. So seeing the lift off in the defensive space, right? SJM, Smuckers, packaged foods, guys. Clorox up 1.5%, right? KMB up. So that defensive play was there. Procter Gamble. Talked about PG maybe today. Nice little play there in Procter Gamble. So if you were able to play those staples, the XLP doing really well today, guys. That's an area that you can take a look into. Not doing too bad on those consumer staples today, guys. So definitely take a look at that action. STZ, Constellation Brands. How did my Mondelez go? That's recovering off the 72s. Look to see if that makes a move towards 74s today. Not a bad outlook there. Definitely, it's not a bad day there. It's trading a lot of what I've seen in the market. Retail getting smacked today, guys. And so if I take a look at that, I can see some really on the downside. ANF. I talked about how the gap could go down today. Well, there, get an opportunity. It's back to 2240s, so getting an opportunity here to short the gap. You know what? I'm going to have to go after this play because this was the play that I could also see working out here. So taking a look at it, gap here, it is bouncing back. Could go back through the 2250s. The Qs are just getting pounded today, man. VIXI now almost 212. I'm telling you guys, I'm a little frustrated on that one. It's going to turn into a Jerry Springer show. Oh, man, it's a frustrating day to say the least, guys. We'll see what happens. Retail definitely taking a hit there. AEO, how's that one doing? Straight down out the gates. Urban was one that we saw. That's actually holding in well. So there's a little bit of a mix in the apparels. We'll look to see if they'll start to really give it up. Gap is still one that I'm looking at, but it's just up there towards the 2240s. We'll look to see if it finally breaks down. In the long run, it's on a sideways period in the hourly. I'm looking to see if that can start to break. SNGX, just not doing much there, guys. Just still chomping all around there in SNGX. I'll look to see if it can make the move, but I don't feel too confident about it. Let's just say that. Tesla bouncing back a little bit there. We'll look to see if it goes back above the 217 is when it starts to get green. It actually looks like a short opportunity. That's if I wanted to get after Tesla off the VWAP, right? And so VWAP is right above that. So there's Tesla around the 216 area. I can maybe get after things on the swing trade side of things. So let's go over to that side and see what we can get after there. Macy's still going down on that one. So Macy's is one that I could look at to maybe add to the short side of things. I'm still looking for this nice little breakdown on the hourly where it goes back towards, let's say, 1515s, but haven't seen a break today. If I see that 1540s will be that area to add on the downside break. So we'll see what happens there. Gap is one that I could look at for a swing on the downside. That's also another thing that I can look at. Tesla trying to recover that 215s. It's right around 215.61 now. VWAP right around 215.85. So maybe a pop bub towards 217s and then failing here for Tesla on the swing short. So I don't mind the swing short on Tesla here. Let's see if I'm able to get some here towards the 216s and 217. Back above the 216s here. I'm going to look to try to get some short on Tesla. VIXY pulling back after that big drive, so that could give a little bit more drive as we start to see this pullback here. So there's the 216s already. I'm looking for a little bit slightly higher as I'm seeing the pullback right now, and the Q's bouncing a little bit here. So we could see a little bit more bounce before we get that real flush down. Come on, get back through that 216s. Hesitation today, guys. I can feel it. I can see my hesitation in the trades, and it's even on swing trades. It isn't that big of a risk there. So that just goes to show me, guys, you got to be careful. There's the 216s up towards the 216s 06. Looking for a little bit of a drive here. The high right now has been 216.20s, especially towards the 217s is really where I want to be sized into. All right, guys, just short it. I was about to say, did it not give me that fill at 216? I hit it quickly there, but got 30 shares short there. Looking for another push here towards the 217s for an add on Tesla. Can add on that swing, but it's just 30 shares, so it's not a monster position. Nice little fade off of that 216 right now. Could go back to the 217s. That's where I'd add, and then I'd risk off like kind of 218s, 217s, or 219s there. So let's see if I can get another little push there towards the 216 or 217s. That's where I'll add another little bit of shares if I get another add on Tesla there. Orders out there to add another little bit. Nothing major. All right, going back to the trading action there, guys. Going back to SNGX to see what's going on there. And going to leave Tesla alone for a little bit, but trying to fade off of Tesla there. SNGX still not making a move there. It's just no volume in this name. I'm stuck in this thing, man. I'm looking for the move right now. It's not it. Could start to see a little bit of a lift in some other names there. AAOI, did that finally get to the breakout there? It pulled back towards the VWAP. Still hasn't broken out. It's kind of hanging in there right now. All right, still in Netflix, paper short. All right, get after it, man. Got out SMCI long too early. Dang. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with that SMCI, but I did see it right up there. Just got out of it a little bit too early. That's not a bad one, though. It's still a nice little lift there. Wasn't a big breakout there. It was too bad there. You can see the 15 minutes went right back towards this kind of resistance. Now, the next one there from there would be like kind of 477s. So you can see it trading in the hourly. Went right back towards like hourly resistance. SNGX, what will this thing do, man? I'm telling you, it doesn't feel good. But I'm just looking to see if one buy can take it back through 4. And then I can go ahead and take some of it off. Kind of push on it, but doesn't look great here. B-Fly showing up. Butterfly Network. I remember this one. That doesn't look too bad on a longer term kind of swing trade outlook. Man, dude, guys, what a screw up today on the VIXY. Good Lord, what a screw up. Oh, frustrated to say the least, guys. 1190s now. 1190s. Had that $600 day available to us. Probably would have only taken, like, let's be real, I would have probably taken it off towards like the 60s and the 70s there. But boy, oh boy, the VIXY just grinding up strong the whole time. I'm glad I got out of my trade, right? Because I did get caught on that and I was on the wrong side of things and shouldn't have even been there in the first place. But hey, Just goes to show me that I had the right mentality today, just bad execution. You can be on the right side of things and still be on the wrong side of things with your execution. That's exactly what happened today. PGTX pulling back there, giving you an opportunity on the pullback. Nothing that I'm going after there, but just kind of mentioning it. BBIO pulling back to the $30. We'll see if this one goes right back to 31. This has been hot as of late. So just looking at one that's making a move today, right? SEOC or SOC has tried to make a move back above 2160s 1, 2, 3 times. So it's starting to slow down on that one. That one might look like a short here if it can break the 2150s, and you can use the high of the day as your risk. We'll see what happens there on SOC. I'm not going after it because I just don't have it today, guys. But if you guys see it, hey, get after it, my friends. Today is one of those days where I know I don't have it, and instead of pushing, I just want to just continue to just let the trade work, see what happens on this SNGX, and then from there, take a reassessment, come back tomorrow with a fresh mindset. You know, we're not going to always like get things right. And I was so on fire. It's like when you're shooting, right? And you're on basketball, right? When you're in fire, the ball just going in. It seems like you can even change your emotion and it goes in. That's how I was feeling. I was on fire. And this really wasn't a bad play. It was just bad execution, right? And so I need to just go take a second. Boom. And it's going to be more than just a second today. It's going to be, let's take a day to reset, because easily I can get into revenge trading right now and ruin all the hard work that I just did for 3 weeks. I'm not doing that. I got to keep it simple today, guys. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, a little bit of a frustrating one today, and that's how it goes. That's how it goes. It's never going to be just one way, and it has been that one way. So it's just how it goes today, guys. All right there, guys. Tesla getting a little spike there. We'll probably got that ad. Did we get that 217 fill? No fill on that Tesla fill. I got there towards 217. Oh, really close off of it. We'll see what happens if it starts to fade now. Tesla starting to get bigger and bigger on the short side of things for the swing. I like this cut down now, back towards the 216s. There it goes back through the 216s. It's going to be a battle now to see what happens in the Qs. Do we just keep leaking here, or do we fade? Do we feed on this one? All right, guys. I like this little spike here. Let's see if we can get a little spike going back into this area here, this 216, 217 area. There's the 40s here. Get up there towards the 217s, and then I can add. All right, looking for that drive here, that drive going through the 217s, and then I'm going to look to add short and get after Tesla on the short side of things. We'll see what happens there. The battle's still on there between the Bulls and the Bears. They're trying to hit it there. As it is in the 60s, looking for the 217 push here. All right, could see the VIXY pull back now, and just keeping that in mind as I start to see the stocks lift off here a little bit. All right, a lot of rejection there now towards the 217.78. Looking to see what happens here in the Tesla. All right, SNGX going down there, guys, on the other side of things. So I got to go ahead and go into protection mode there on that side. So I'm going towards that trade on the on the day trade side of things and taking my eyes off of Tesla right now. All right, guys, setting up risk here at the 339 there for SNGX. I have a feeling I'll get stop hunted, so this could be it for me today, guys. But just put out a stop there towards the 339s. So 339s hits, I'm all out of SNGX, and I'll take the hit. Right now, I'm looking to see if that will recover. I'll give it a chance, but other than that, nothing that I'm feeling confident about in that name. And I'm like I've mentioned, I'm pretty much done for the day, but just going to keep trading and looking at what's going on to understand what's happening. And biggest thing now is looking into tomorrow in the swing trades. That's what I can focus on. That's where I can still have some trades get put on here. SPY straight down out the gates. VIXI was the trade to make today. It just wasn't my trade that I actually nailed, but should have been there. Now pullbacks to 1150s, 1130s is really the area that I'll be looking for pullback, and we'll see what happens there. We could get a full pullback and then the move. So you see Tesla back towards the 217s. That's definitely going to push a little bit more. Could do double top and then come back down. So got to be careful there on Tesla. Up there to 217s now, 217.50s, and a little bit there I can add to it, but looking to see what happens here in Tesla, letting it do this little push here, and then eventually we'll look to see if it dumps back to the 216. All right, guys, what's up out there, guys? No tilt. Yeah, definitely. No tilt. I'm not going to go on tilt, man. Trust me, a little part of me, easily, if I started to push on a trade like today and start to revenge trade, that's how I give it up. You don't even need to look at the VIX for the rest of the day. Yeah, Wisdom, you know it. It's going to frustrate me, right? Because when you get something so right and you just click the wrong button, it's going to frustrate you. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter who you are. You're still going to get frustrated on that. Q's bouncing back not strong, and so the Tesla's a little bit stronger than even the Q's are, and so that tells me that we could even just maybe just jump on that opportunity, right? Like right here, maybe long SOXL and just try to ride it back to the VWAP, which is a move to 35s, 32s. That could easily be in play right now, right? So you're just trying to jump off of this VWAP pullback, and you're trying to mean version trade back. Tesla's near the top there, and you're trying to trade that, right? So there's multiple trades there you can make there. And that tells me that SOXL could make a little rip here and go towards, let's say, 35. That's about $1 upside for about, what, maybe 10 cents, 20 cents on the downside right now. So that's just a mentality that I have right now with SOXL. On the day trade side of things, if I had ammo, this would be one that I'd be taking a look at just for the bounce back, mean reversion, and then looking to see if it comes back down. Tesla making its way right back up there, and now I'm pretty much in the red here and really looking at it to see if it goes through the high. And I got to let it go, right? I can add a little bit here, but instead of adding here and increasing risk, I just let the trade work there, because back through, let's say, 219.50s and 220s, oh, I definitely need to get out. That's a 150 out, and on this swing account, I'm usually making 300s in the gains, so that's not too bad. It's a 2-to-1 outlook here on Tesla. I'm going to set it and forget it. If it hits the 150s, I get out. If it starts to come back down, I'll look to try to maybe add through the VWAP. All right, looking around out the other trades here, and Macy's is back there towards 1566. If I can get back to my entry on this, I'll keep adding on Macy's. I still think you get big downside in Macy's in the long run. Gap up there towards 22.75s. This thing spiked and now could give away some of the gains, but I'm not getting after it right now. Tesla up there to 218.60s now. That's just how it goes. It's going back towards the 219s. Will it break all the way to the 220s? Got to keep an eye out. Big C now pulling back off the 1186. We'll see what happens there. Tesla right around the 218.13s. All right, guys, looking around to see what's in the green now. I think a lot of oil down big, man. Oil not looking good today, guys. So that's interesting on that SOC. Look at that thing climb. It's up there to 2180s. This thing is just weird. Looks like Algo's just taking this thing. Leslie's Pool Supply. What about NVAX? That one I talked about how that one loves to stay strong. Pullbacks to 1280s is what made sense for me there. It just went back to 1308s. It looks good here off this 1280s here. Doesn't look too bad on the daily also to start making a grind back to 14 and 15s. Maybe even 17 into play. Maybe into this gap. 15s into play right now. That's $2 higher there on NVAX. Does not look too bad right now as it just broke back above the 13s here. We'll see if NVAX can just keep climbing higher today. Honestly, not a bad play, just not something that I'm going after today. But it could be a swing to the upside. Long in here at the 13s, risking off of like 1250s. Doesn't seem too bad there. It's just more, do I like NVAX? Do I think this has something here? I have to look a little bit deeper into it, but it's a nice setup. That's for sure. Q's coming back a little bit there. That's going to help that Soxel trade that I talked about. Let's see if it breaks through the 34s and goes to the 35s. Just a little push there, and then the league comes back into the market. That's the way I see things. I can see the VIX coming back there towards the 1140s and then getting the bounce back to the upside. I think we got to keep looking for that action. Success, maybe a pullback all the way back towards, let's say, 2380s or 24s, and then getting the next move. We'll see what happens. KSS, a little bit of a push there. So department stores pushed today a little bit. Macy's probably going to get above my entry here. Now the question is, do I want to get it all out and then just try to get some a little bit higher? That could be an approach on Macy's. Right now, I'm just letting it work. You're a big bag holder in Victoria's Secret. Don't tell the wife. Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll see what else is out there. How is that Victoria's Secret today? It's trading a little bit sideways there. AAOI pulled up there towards the 1275s. Just pulled back. Doesn't look too bad on the 15-minute. You can see it here on the 15-minute chart. It's trading on the 15-minute. I would be looking at that move to see if it can hold the higher low here. Make that move back through that 1250s on this pullback here. So this pullback right now, can it hold that right there, right around the 1254, 1250s, and then make a jump back to the upside? That's AAOI. You can see it on the 5-minute chart there. Looks pretty, right? Well, we'll look to see if it holds that and makes a run back towards 1280s and 13 today. AAOI. Tesla getting up there, did make a trend line approach. So now I got to go ahead and if I do want to add, this is that trend line approach to maybe take an ad for it to come right back down. I don't want to increase the size and the risk on a day where I'm already kind of struggling mentally. So I'm just going to stay right there. Back to the 216s is the ad for me for the breakdown back towards 210. PSNY is this Polestar. Yeah, Polestar getting a big spike there, guys. So if you're looking for one name that is moving right now, the warrants are moving up fast too. But, you know, you could always just go trade the equity name here. We'll see if this gets a spike there. The daily chart doesn't look too bad to maybe get towards maybe 175, $2. So you're not looking too bad for a 30-cent pop there. Doesn't look too bad on the day. Just broke above the 138s. We'll look to see if it gets at least to that 150s. But, hey, that's a Polestar for you. Not really a name that, you know, is the sexiest, but definitely a mover once it gets going. All right. It's definitely one of those days where things are moving all around. Let's take it down a notch here and let's keep looking to see what we can find in the market. All right, guys, not much going on out there, guys. If you guys see a name you guys want to talk about, throw it up there. I see a lot of you guys tuning in on Twitter. Let me know. What are you guys trading today? Of course, for me, it was VIXY long, but we'll see how that pulls back. It's towards the 1188s, man. What a day today to have played the VIXY. Just didn't play it on the right side of things today, guys. That's just how it goes sometimes. Tesla is coming down there. We'll look to see if we see continued leak out there. And for right now, still in SNGX, but it's not looking pretty at all, guys. Could add to this thing, but why would I add when there's no volume on this? It needs to pop through 4 for me to even think about it. More than likely will get me out with the spread as it keeps coming down towards the 340s. SOXS continuing to hold there. SMH probably coming down fast, man. Yeah, semiconductor. ETF taking a big beating there. The Bears are winning today, that's for sure. VIXY back towards 1190s. Could go through 12, man. Move today, guys. PLX, $1 stock. Just went through that $1 stock. So we're looking for something that's moving. NVAX back below 12 or back below 13. So you get the opportunity there in NVAX if you want to take it. Finally stopped out of Netflix on the paper trade short, a little over $7 a share. Now it's dropping more and more. Moved my stop loss to the close. Oh, too close. Yeah, it happens. It happens. And you can't be mad about taking gains, but you always keep that in mind. And when you move that closer, you could get hunted and just get hit. All right, 72% have new high money to be made. Yeah, we'll see what happens. A lot of the market's red there for sure. Oh, man, on a day like today where I really like trading short side of things, it's a frustrating one, man. The Q's just going lower there, and that helps me on the Tesla trade. So feeling good on the swing trade side of things there, but it's like, what's going to happen now, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add to this Tesla swing on the short side of things as it starts to break the 216s here. It could get a little bounce there back towards like 217s, 30s. So 217s here, I'll add. Trying to add here some shares here. Don't have too much buying power, so I can do 20 shares more of Tesla. I'll do 20 more at 217s if it gets a little bounce, but I think it could just flush down. And if it just flushes down, let it go. Let it go. Macy's, a little part of me is like, short that bad boy. BBIO still hanging in on the 3024s. SLC now 2212s. Just that one you don't want to mess with, man. The buying on that thing is ridiculous. Nvidia down towards 111 today, just taking a wipeout. And also the Bitcoin names, I saw them getting destroyed right now, guys. Destroyed. Mara down to 1590s today. Downside still playing in the market right now. All right, more leaking coming into Tesla here. And the Qs make another low here. So I'm going to get after Tesla here, guys. I'm just added to that on the short side of things on the swing trade. So trying to increase towards a trade that I talked about in the pre-market. So bigger short on Tesla now and looking for a breakdown back towards the 210s. That'd be a $6 upside, right? So $6 leaves me a lot of room to make some money back in the swing trade today. All right, SGNX or SNGX is probably going to stop me out here, guys. I have a feeling I'm just going to get stop hunted. I got no problem with that because I don't want to be in the name if it keeps dropping through the 340s. Canceling the stop loss for just a second here to see what can happen. Maybe I can get some movement to happen, but it's not looking good here, guys. SNGX now down to the 45s, looking to see if the spread cuts down back towards the 40s. That would get me out. Spread is towards the 45 on the offer if I wanted to add here and then just bring my price down, but I can't do that on a day when I'm down. If I was up 300, I could maybe take a shot on that. Just one of those days where probably going to take a hit here, and that's okay. So I just dropped the stop loss again. Probably going to get stop hunted towards the 339s, but that's fine. I'm just trying to just go ahead and manage now. Sometimes it's managing that it's going to be a red trade, a red day. And it's going to be a red day for me today. Could try to bounce back, but my mindset is just crushed after that VIXY trade. And I think that's okay. It happens as a trader. I think now I just go and switching towards swing trades to see if those continue to work. And I could look at other swing trades, right? Like let's say the banks breaking down. Look at Goldman back through the 500 today. And look how weak it got through 500. It was a quick leak back to 490s. So I could look to see if this goes back there and towards the VWAP, right? 496. Any move back up there in Goldman Sachs can short. But for right now, it's just a falling off the tape. I'd look for 500 to come back or 498s to come back before I even look at this, right? So that's the one thing that I'd be looking at there. Woof. That was a big cut down on Goldman Sachs today. JP Morgan with a downgrade today. That was a nice little fade off of the 222.50s. XLF, big move down to 45.44. So back to the VWAP could be a nice fade off of that. FAZ could be one way to play this on if you wanted the long side. This is the bearish leverage trade. SNGX, literally pennies away from stopping me out, guys. Buy overall down to 556 and hasn't come back to the VWAP today. So that just goes to show you sell side, sell side, sell side is what I see out there. And that's why I think Tesla keeps breaking down. See what happens on that one. See if Tesla really kind of breaks down today. SNGX just going to cut me out right now in just a second here. Just a second. Should take that loss there. Should have already triggered. Making sure that it triggers in just a second here. The 336 by 349 just tells me that it's going to get triggered in any moment here. I get stopped out. Could pull it down to the 36 to 34s to give it a penny or two, but what is that going to do? It's just going to increase risk. And on a day like today, you guys know it. I'm going to take the hit and just move back. All right, guys, UVXY killed it today also. Yes, it did. Not a bad one. It was a nice pullback to the 13 moving average, but I got out on the break of the 8. Hey, can't get mad about that, Conrad. Just stick to the rules. Eventually, that will help you out, right? All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. Definitely not the best one for me today, guys. Just battling back and forth. And you can see the bid now at 339. So I'll give it a penny towards 338s just to give it the penny there. But other than that, I'm seeing myself get stopped hunted on that SNGX. All right, let's see what else is out there. All right, we'll see what else out there, but probably going to wrap up early today at the 10:45, guys. Looks like the boys are being tough too, so looks like they're having a rough day, and I'm having a rough day. So hey, I'll probably wrap it up in just a second here, guys. Let's take a look at the market overall. You guys can see we're just on the leak and continuing to leak. The Qs overall leaking also 467.50s. We'll see if this starts to turn back towards the upside, but for right now, the leak is on there, and SOXS is the winning trade right now. The SQQQ winning trade, nice little move higher, and not a lot on this, but definitely seeing that cut down. SMFL showing up, smart for life. So I know that you guys like to trade those packaged foods names. Where you guys were trading it with the BOF. Now this SMFL shows up and just did a spike off of that $1. So keep your eyes on that. Did Beyond Meat get spiking? Nope. Polestar, that continuing to move? Not a big move there. ASST, that was one that we've seen move before there. Not really too much on that. AAOI back to 1230. So didn't want to make the run on that one and started to slow down. All right, so it looks like we're still in the chop now, guys. So be careful out there. How's the XLI doing? And taking a major hit today, guys. And that's a little bit of sign of concern. So that tells me more and more. I talked about how the industrials could fall off. Did the defensive names fall off? They are pulling back some. Lockheed Martin made a move to the upside. Now starting to pull back. So this is an actual outlook that could look like a short because these stocks are really kind of up towards the high end, right? I mean, this thing went all the way up there towards like 97, 100 on the RSI. And the RSI has been coming down and the price action's been going up. What is that? That's called a negative divergence. So a negative divergence tells me that something should come back into play. Either the RSI start working its way up and the price action go up, or the price action comes down and the RSI continues on its way down. So that's one thing to think about. This is not a bad one to look at. Lockheed Martin's been trying to make the move, but it's starting to slow down. We'll look to see which way it actually breaks. All right, that's Lockheed Martin. StockS just continuing to rip now towards 25.47s. That makes me feel a little bit better on that Tesla trade as I start to get in the green there for the swing trade. And there you guys have it, starting to get in the green there for that one. Macy's actually in the red there for Macy's as it starts to lift a little bit here. Now I got to go ahead and just figure out, do I want to add to Macy's for the bigger breakdown? And I just want to stay here. I can add to Macy's, but I shouldn't really increase the risk there. Should keep it manageable, and we'll see what happens. Will Tesla break down now and completely leak? That's the way I see it, but we'll see what happens. A big cut down for that is 213s and then starting to let go from there. bbio, will that one make another run to the upside? As a biotech, you guys can look at that one. It's been hot as of late, that's for sure. I have divergent views of Kathy. Yeah, a lot of people do. Morning beer, can't go wrong. Before 12, remember the good old days. Macy's. We'll see what happens. There's Tesla now down towards the 215.55s. That just shows me more and more the leak that's in the market. And SOXL not making that bounce there, cutting down through the 32s. SOXS with the win today, guys. The dark side's out there and making that money today. That's for sure. The milk stouts. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of those, but hey, can't go wrong with the Guinness. Can't go wrong. Tesla breaking down there now towards 215.40s, right? I can get after it on the day trade side of things with different areas and kind of getting after it, right? TSM is one that I like to short here. Qualcomm, one that I could see coming down further. SMCI, that's on the upside right now, could start to leak here and start giving it up. We'll see what happens there, right? What's another one that's in that space that could be on the leak? Micron, AMAT, AVGO, all these tech names just getting hit hard today, guys. big hit in those areas. ARKK, big hit there. Sarking it, man. Sarking it. If you think we're going to get continued downside, this could be one way to approach that, right? Getting after Sark here. We'll see what happens there. If that can start to climb back through the highs here, doesn't look too bad to climb back through 31s on the day. Sarking it. If you like to go after Kathy Wood or want to get negative towards Kathy Wood, well, here's an opportunity. That's for sure. SNGX just playing with me, man. Just playing with me. Just playing with me, guys. Down there to the 339s. Could stop me out at any moment. Could take a lift off through the 350s. I'll tell you one thing. I don't feel anything that this one's going to make the move to the upside. If it does it, it's just going to be random and start to make the move. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, it's been a tough one today. I got a review, and sometimes they're going to be good reviews. Today, it's going to be on a trading mistake. The VIXI, man. Oh, man, guys. This should have been a really nice win today, and instead, it's a really nice loss. Why? Because at least I managed it and got out of the trade because it was a mistake. And of course, I meant to go long, but somehow ended up short. And you guys can see it here right out the gates. It was a really nice trade. I'm going to go to the 5-minute to show you guys a little bit more of the action. I was trying to go long right here at the 1134s. Instead, I realized around the 1140s, why the hell am I in the red? What's going on here? Well, you're short, Mitch. You're not long. Well, clear example of a mistake here that cost me a big trade to the upside, guys. Had 1134s, 1,000 shares. If I would have been long on that, would have been able to ride that up towards like the 60s, 65s. That could have been a $300 winner there. Would I have gone back into the name? Maybe not, but that still would have been a nice little $300 to work with a nice little cushion for the week. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. You're not always going to get it right. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes. In that moment, I had options. I had options to maybe trade to the short side and maybe it comes back down, or I wait. No, I cut it, got caught on the wrong side of things. I made a mistake. I took the hit. And sometimes you got to take the punch on the face because you made a mistake, and that's okay, right? We're not always going to be perfect, but just get through it. We'll bounce back tomorrow. Like I talked about it, it cost my mental capital today because after that point, the emotions just ran high. And when the emotions are high, what are we going to do? We're going to hit the brake pedal because that's what I think is the most important thing is what? Risk management. In this case, I essentially took a risk hit when I shouldn't have. I should have been in the green. So if I start to push there, that's easily how I get into revenge trading, go on tilt, go big sizing on the next trade, then lose big. And today could have been a down $500, $600 day and lose all of last week's hard work. That's not what we're going to do. We'll go ahead, call Tuesday a cut type of day. It was a red day, so it's still going to be a red day no matter what. But it will be something that I can look back and be like, hey, Mitch, you had the right mentality. You were in the right stock. You had the right trade on. You just didn't take the right execution on a button press. That you hit the wrong button and just wasn't focused at that moment. That can happen. We'll shake it and we'll bake it, baby. 1204 is now for the VIXI. What a day on the VIXI. If you guys were able to trade that, shout out to you guys because the VIXI's been making me money like literally 5 or 6 scalps on the upside. So this one I'm going to, call it to the downside. It's a loss. But the truth is it would have been another win on the scalp to the upside. The scalps on the VIXIs have been awesome. Awesome. And 10 cents here is pretty easy to make on the VIXI. What I love about it, the liquidity very rarely changes from 1 cent spread to maybe 2 cent spread to maybe 3, but that's the most I've seen it. You don't see a 10-cent spread there. That's going to help you in when you're scalping on a name like the VIXI. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. You missed that VIXI. Hey, it happens. I missed it too, right? All right, good one on you, Conrad, continuing the battle, man. How is the liquidity in Trade the Pool? It's pretty high. It just depends on what stock you're trading, right? Penny stocks are going to be a little bit less liquid, but if it's a stock that has a normal high liquid market, you'll probably find high liquid markets right here on Trade the Pool. That's one thing I can say for certain. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. Can we continue to make some gains on the day? Will SNGX get me out? There's only one way to find out. Come back tomorrow, team. We'll see what happens there. But success. Look at the rip out today, guys. At least I was on the right side of things today, was looking to that bearish side as we saw that reaction. Didn't expect to see this much downside in the market, but that just goes to show us September is a tough month. And I talked about it right when the show started, that this was the toughest month of the year for the market. So downside opportunities actually seemed more apparent. We'll see if we're able to get after some downside continuation tomorrow. Like always, it's not going to be one way. You could get another drive back towards the middle of the day as the algos take over here. Be safe out there, traders. I will see you guys back tomorrow morning. Like always, continue battling right here on Trade the Pool. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up on X, right? You got Money Mitch _TTP, of course, for Trade the Pool. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Keep getting after it. And like always, traders, you guys saw me today struggle. And it's never going to be perfect, right? In that struggle, what did I do? I got back into control. Maybe not enough control to take trades, but enough control to tell myself, Mitch, be disciplined here. You made a mistake. And the number one thing that you do sometimes when we make mistakes, we go on tilt. We try to push too much. Instead, I went to the opposite extreme. I'll call it a day. My mental capital is on the floor. So I got to pick that back up and get ready tomorrow. That's the great thing about trading. Tomorrow is a brand new day. Don't need to be thinking about the loss that happened on a mistake today. And I could just wash it out. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat, traders. Let's get after it. I'll see you guys back tomorrow morning. Like always, keep working hard. Don't lose all your hard work in one day and one loss. Like always, never let one trade make you and never let one trade break you.